Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Before I get into anything, just huge disclaimer right now. Okay, so I always forget that I have new subscribers or new viewers from time to time, and not all of you know what's going on right now. And I got a few comments in my last video about the echo, and it's kind of bothersome. So before you guys kind of turn away and think that this is how my audio is all the time, I just wanted to let you guys know this echo that you're hearing is temporary. I'm currently in a new house and we don't have a lot of furniture right now, so I need to buy some rugs or something to help the bounce of the sound. But yeah, that's why it sounds echoey. If you're sensitive to the sound, I'm so sorry, and I wish I could make it somewhat more enjoyable, but I didn't want to just, put my videos to a complete halt just because of my lack of furniture or because of the echo sound. But if you can bear with me with the sound, then I appreciate it and I thank you so much. Please stick around. I promise the echo won't last forever once we start to furnish our house a little bit more. So back to the main topic of this video. So today I'm going to be reviewing a new foundation for you guys. Today we're going to be reviewing the new Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation. This is, yes, exactly what it's called. And also their concealer. I asked you guys on Snapchat what you would like to see, if you would like to see a wear test of it, just an application of it, just a talk through review of it, and you guys kind of just said everything. So in this video, I'm going to show you the application of this foundation and the Photofocus concealer as well, since these are both new products and they kind of go hand in hand. A lot of you asked me to review these two products, so I'm finally delivering. And you guys also wanted to see a video where I do check-ins while wearing this foundation to see how it's wearing throughout the day. So we're going to do all of that in this video. So it's going to be a very informative, hopefully informative video for you guys. So before I go into the application and we get to do the check-ins, I'm going to kind of run down the whole list of facts of this foundation and the price and also the concealer and all of its claims first. So I found my foundation at CVS. They hadn't always had it. I've been noticing that a few places that carry Wet n Wild, some places have the foundation and concealer and some places don't. So this foundation retails for $5.99. Some Walmarts have it for a little under $5 and some other stores have it for a little over $5. So on the Wet n Wild website, it is marked though at $5.99. Now the concealer is on the website for $3.99. So I'm going to read off of the bottle what the claims are for this foundation so you guys kind of know what they're marketing this foundation to do. On the back of the bottle, it does say Goodbye Photo Flashback, that this helps eliminate white particle reflection, was tested under 7 light conditions, was top smartphone models, and without flash. That's basically all the claims that it has on here. And as for the concealer, I believe it just claims the same thing. It said it on the packaging, but I don't have the packaging anymore. I just have the concealer itself. I'm going to read to see if there's anything different on the website, or if it gives a little bit more of like a, what kind of finish does it have and stuff like that, because it does not say on the bottle itself. So on the website, the Wet n Wild website, it does say for the foundation that your skin, but only better, our new high-performing skin perfecting foundation underwent major road testing under 7 different photo lighting conditions to deliver flawless camera-ready makeup every time, specifically made with a matte light diffusing complex to give your skin a no-filter perfection. Okay, so it does say that it has a matte finish. For the concealer, it just says everything pretty much the same as the foundation, except it says, let your natural beauty shine with our selfie-tested creamy and luminous concealer, tested to be white cast-free under 7 different photo lighting conditions. This high-coverage concealer allows only your best features to get noticed. Gorgeous skin will be your only look. So it doesn't say that the concealer is matte, it actually says it's supposed to be luminous. As far as the applicators go for both of these products, the concealer just has a regular doe foot applicator, and the foundation has a spatula applicator, so you can kind of see it there. The shades that I got, in case you all are around my skin tone or you're curious, I did pick up the shade Soft Ivory in the foundation. It has a little bit of a light warm undertone. And then the concealer, I just got the lightest one, which it works out pretty really well for me. It is in the shade Light Ivory. So straight off the bat from the application, I don't really care for the spatula applicator, and I feel like the doe foot on this concealer doesn't take out as much product as I like my concealers to do. But that's just what I noticed with the application. I wish this had a pump, or if it was just a pour bottle would be better. The spatula is just like a little for me, and it's obviously not very hygienic. Like if it's touching your skin, so, and then you're putting it back in the bottle. And then for the concealer, I just feel like when I take out the wand and I apply it on, which you'll see, I don't really get that much product out. I have to kind of keep dipping back in. So if you're heavy-handed with your concealer, then maybe this is good for you, but I like a little bit more of a big dollop when I take out my concealer. One thing to note about this foundation is it has a strange scent to it, so if you're very sensitive to smells, beware. This has kind of like a wet paint scent. It does smell like paint. Me personally, I don't mind scents unless it doesn't smell like, you know, crap, but it does have like a paint. It legit smells like paint. And the concealer actually didn't. The concealer doesn't smell like anything, so the concealer has no scent. Wet n Wild is cruelty-free, in case you are wondering. I do like that it's in a glass bottle. It kind of makes it a little bit more fancy. So this is my fourth or fifth time trying out this foundation. So this isn't a first impressions. I've kind of had a little playtime with it already, and I just wanted to put that out there before we go into the application of it, just so I can give you guys what I've seen so far in the few applications that I've had with this. So what I noticed right off the bat is that this foundation is very matte. If you are someone who's dry and you have dry patches on your face, I cannot imagine that this is gonna settle very well with your skin type. I feel like you would really have to moisturize your skin or prime appropriately in order to make this foundation work for you. Maybe priming with an oil or something that's very hydrating. Because even for me that I am oily, I noticed that this was really matte. And even throughout the wear of it, from what I've seen so far, to me it's even more matte than the L'Oreal Pro Matte foundation. Same thing with the concealer. I'm gonna disagree with the claims that it's luminous. I don't find this concealer to be very luminous at all. I find this to be pretty matte as well. And for me, that's not a problem. I absolutely love that. But for you girls out there or guys who are more dry, I don't know how you'll feel about this. So as far as coverage, when I used it the first time, I used a very little amount just to see if it is very full coverage or not. The foundation itself, I would describe it as a medium coverage, and you can build it to full. It is a very thin formula, so it does feel very lightweight, which I really like. And as far as the concealer is a lot thicker, and it does have a pretty good full coverage. So one good layer is pretty good coverage already. Like I would say it covered all of my redness. It actually smooths out my pores really well, and that could be because of the matte factor in it. Same thing with the concealer. I think if you would want a lighter coverage, you just use less product, and you'll see that it kind of just gives a natural kind of coverage look, a very sheer look. And of course, if you wanted a super full coverage, I would go in with a second layer. But first good layer of this foundation gave me a really good amount of coverage that I personally enjoy. So for the few times that I've worn this foundation already, I'm actually really impressed with how well it wears. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I put off buying this because I just thought I wasn't gonna like it. I don't know, nothing about it was intriguing me until finally so many of you asked me to try it. So I was like, you know what, I gotta do it for you guys. So I'm actually really happy and impressed with it so far. And hopefully in this video, when you see the check-ins, you'll see what I'm talking about of how well it holds up. And I'm impressed because one, I'm a naturally super oily person, and two, where I live currently, it's been scorching hot already. It already feels like we're in the middle of summer. So the fact that it holds up in high heat where I'm starting to get a little flustered or hot or feel a little sweaty, and then I'm already naturally oily to begin with, but the fact that it still holds up very well is super impressive to me. Right off the bat, I'm just gonna tell you guys how I feel about this foundation, and for right now, currently after using it for about 4 or 5 times, I can say that I actually really like it, and I'm super shocked and surprised, and I would actually really recommend it to any of my oily skin girls. If you have a lot of texture, like as far as like maybe breakouts that are drying out and stuff like that, then I would be careful because it's gonna cling to any dry patches. And if you're extremely dry, I would just say don't bother with this unless you're gonna use some extreme measures to moisten your skin and get really hydrated before applying this. You probably even want to spray some type of hydrating setting spray over it and stuff just to make this more user-friendly towards your dry skin type. But for me, I have to say I'm really happy with it, and I'm surprised and pleasantly surprised at that. And as far as the claims for the flashback, I'm going to insert some photos in here. This is a photo with flash taken. I felt like my face did look a little lighter, but it could be maybe that color was maybe too light for me to begin with. But as far as it looking like ashy, you know, like that awful flashback that you get with like certain SPF foundations or powders, that didn't happen. It actually looks really smooth, like it looks really good itself on the face. But you do see a little bit of color difference from my face to like my shoulders, and maybe it's just I actually have a little bit of color in my shoulders right now because I have been kind of showing this more lately, and I've been getting a little bit of sun. Maybe that's just me wishful thinking that I'm getting some type of a tan, or you know, whatever. But anyway, and then another photo, this one here, which is in natural light with no flash, and it looks pretty dang good in my opinion. So anyway, so now moving on to the application, and we'll see the check-ins. Okay, so obviously I have nothing on my skin. I just did my regular skincare and moisturize, and today I'm going to be trying it out with the Nivea Men Aftershave Balm. This is an oldie but a goodie for me. I actually just repurchased this. I used to use this all the time, and this would actually be the third primer that I try with this foundation. I do like to give different primers a chance with the foundation, only because I know we all don't use the same one, and it's good to know if it reacts differently with different primers. So I'm just gonna shake up the foundation really quick. It doesn't say you need to shake it, but I just like to, just in case, you never know. So we're gonna open this up, and just with its little spatula, I am just going to dot this all over my face. I'm gonna start to blend out this side, and then I'll kind of get it close so you guys can see what it looks like up close and compare it to what skin hasn't been covered by it. By the way, just to note, I've only used this foundation with my beauty blender. I have not tried it with a brush, so for those of you who like to use brushes, I'm not sure how it will go. I just prefer to use a beauty blender all the time with my foundation. And so far it's worked with just the beauty blender, so I'm gonna get up close so you guys can see my cheek that's all blended and covered with the foundation, and then you'll see the skin that's not. Okay, so here is up close. So you can see the coverage, and then you see a lot of my redness here, so it does cover really well. It covered a lot of my natural lip color. Okay, foundation is all blended out. I look like a total ghost, but this is what it looks like. So again, up close, you guys can see what it looks like. So now for the concealer part of this. So I'm just gonna conceal and highlight like normal. So directly underneath the eyes first. Okay, now the concealer is all blended out. So you don't see any of my under eye discoloration anymore, any little bit of extra redness that was coming through. So now, and this is without it being set with any powder. So as you can tell, I am pretty matte. So now we're going to set, and I'm going to be using my Cover FX Translucent Light Powder, and I actually am revisiting this powder. I had tried it like months back. I didn't like it at first, and I'm kind of giving it a second chance, and so far so good. So I'm just going to take my damp beauty blender and press it in here. Okay, so obviously I'm going to let this bake for a little bit, and I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup, and then I will be back so you guys can see the finished product, and then we'll start our check-ins throughout the day. Okay, so I am back, and all of my makeup is finished. I'm going to speed up a little bit more so you guys can kind of just see how everything looks. Everything that I did was with powder products. I did not use cream contour in case that does make a difference, and that's basically it. Oh, also the areas that I didn't bake. I did go lightly over with some press powder. I used my Tarte double duty press powder that they have, the one in the gold compact. So I did use that to kind of set everything else. So right now it is exactly 12 o'clock. I hope to check in. I'm gonna try to go at least 6 to 7 hours with this on. Hopefully I can. And then we will check in at different times of the day so you guys can see. Also, another thing that I did want to do was do a oil blot test, which that's what I'm calling it, but I don't know if that's officially what it's called. I've seen a couple of photos of these types of tests and I think that they're really interesting. So basically you can use a piece of paper or cardboard or whatever. I'm going to use this just random piece of cardboard, and what I'm going to do is actually put a few drops of foundation on here and let it sit. It's supposed to absorb whatever oils are in the product to see how much is actually in there, and I just found it really interesting, so I figured why not test it out with this foundation. So we are just going to do that. Usually kind of put a good amount. Okay, so I did leave the dot on there, and we're just gonna let that sit for the duration of how long I keep my makeup on, and we'll see how this works out. Hey guys, really quick, I know it's a different day, but I totally forgot to do this part in the video yesterday. I did the blot test to see if any oil was gonna come out of the little dot that we did on this cardboard. So I'm gonna show you guys up close really quick just to show you how much oil came out of it. So let's see, I'm gonna try to get as close. So you guys obviously see where the foundation, by the way, I left this overnight, but you see obviously the foundation that I put on there. Can you see the dark rim around it? So the fact that it really doesn't show too much and it didn't spread out too far tells me, or kind of indicates, that there's really not a lot of oil in this. So that actually does go hand in hand with how this foundation wears, since I did mention how matte it is and how it kept me super matte. So this proves that yes, it really doesn't have a lot of moisturizing or type of oilier, greasier ingredients in it. That's what I take away from this test. All right, well, I'm gonna go about my day and check in with you guys later, and I'll be back. All right guys, so this is gonna be my first check-in. It is now 4:35. So this makeup has been on for about 4.5 hours, and do you see what I'm talking about? I have not powdered at all. I haven't even touched on my lipstick, but regardless, just so you guys know that I have not touched my face. I haven't blotted, nothing. So here is how it is. You guys, this looks really good, like, in my opinion. So let's give it about maybe 3. I'm gonna try to do 4 more hours and let's see what happens. All right guys, so this is going to be my last, this is going to be my last check-in. It is almost 7 o'clock. You can see here it's 6:52. Whoa. There we go, 6:52. So we almost made it to the complete 7-hour mark. And here is the foundation up close. So again, you guys, this is what my foundation will typically look like after around 3, maybe 4 hours. But for the, fact that this is already going to be 7 hours long that I've had this makeup on, 0 touch-up, 0 blotting, 0 setting. Actually, I haven't even touched up my lipstick. It's pretty good. A little wear here, but as you can tell, this is really good for oily skin. And like I said, I've been using it with different primers, but they seem to all work pretty well with the foundation. So I hope this kind of shows, what I'm raving about, because I know I do have a lot of subscribers who are also oily skin like myself, and you guys are always asking me for tips on how to keep you from getting shiny or what foundations I recommend. So if you are one of those people, I would definitely recommend to look into this foundation, because so far, like I said, I'm loving it, and hopefully this proves why I love it so much. So yeah, so I'm gonna go now. I hope this review was really helpful. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.